Righties are weirdos, go lefties.
Wait, what?
Wow, that's how we're gonna start this off. That's great.
Yeah, all right.
I usually get a lot for being a lefty. Like,
don't
I'm
like
I'm
it.
sorry. I'll probably outshoot you, but I'm still sorry.
Oh, really now?
No, I'm not.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Not So Round Table. This is a special episode for me and for you guys. It's not very often we get input from experts in their fields above and beyond what kind of we do in our hobby and sport of airsoft. And we're really lucky on this episode of the Not So Round Table to be joined by Milspec Mojo and Grim CMV. Those are their social media channels if you want to follow them on Instagram for the variety of photos and video content they do, as well as on YouTube. These guys are incredible content creators. They're incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to real firearms and manipulating those firearms and tactics, as well as a really unique input and understanding of how airsoft can relate to kind of the real firearms world, as well as how real firearms doctrine and training and tactics can be applied to airsoft. And so we thought it would be a really cool idea to have you guys on the Not So Round Table. So here they are.
Super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're all clapping behind the, from their monitors.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yay! And then for those of you who don't know, Ryan and Mason are behind the camera. We're in the middle of the Vegas desert in an undisclosed location. So the questions in this episode of the Not So Round Table are not from last month. I put up a question on our Instagram shortly before filming this video. So I'm going to be reading those questions off my phone because we don't have a printer here. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm absolutely ready.
Have you guys seen the Not So Round Table show that we do?
No, I have not.
Didn't think so. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Luckily, one of them brought a helmet, so we do have a helm of reasoning, but there won't be any questions being pulled from it. The way this works is
You
it's
could put the phone in the helmet.
I could, but then I'd have to every time.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all
the point. Never mind.
Question.
So
yeah, that's
the way the show works is questions are submitted by our fans and viewers at the end of every video or during each one of our Not So Round Table episodes, and those questions get collected and put into our helm of reasoning, which is just a drawing from the hat, if you will.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And so we use the episodes to answer common questions, get input from people, get input from us about products that we like or what we do in certain situations or what preferences we have for certain gear and things. And so I'm going to be relying a lot on you guys for your opinions on a lot of these things. You guys asked me this earlier, so we'll start off with this one.
Oh gosh.
How do you pronounce Evike?
Evike.
Evike.
We
Fight me.
totally, we told you it was Evike. I knew you were going to do that.
Evike.
All right, so
It's Evike.
it's Evike.
Evike.
Boom. That's one.
There you go. All right, one down. All right.
It's Evike. I'm just kidding. It's
This is a
Evike.
competition.
M Learner 41 is the guy who said, or person who said, righties are the weirdos, go lefties. Funny because two of you guys are lefties.
Yep, you met two, myself and one other guy on the team is a lefty.
Yeah.
It's a funny story. Some people know this that have seen me in other podcasts and stuff. I'm actually not left-handed.
Okay.
I'm right-handed in life, as in like I'm right-handed and I use my right hand for all things. The only thing that I do effectively with my left hand is shoot. So if we went golfing right now or played
You'd
any
golf
sport,
righty.
that'd be right-handed.
Can we take a pause?
Okay, wait, so
We need to pause for prayer for his deficiencies here and his
I hit my head
I'm just
really hard.
confused. So, okay, rifles and pistols.
Yes, and I'm left-eye dominant, so it works out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not like you're right eye dominant and shooting offhand, which would make things really
The eye
odd.
dominancy was the biggest thing
Correct.
for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess my follow-up question to this would be, if you have to grab somebody else's whatever and put it to use, and their furniture and their gear is set up for a right-handed shooter, does that cause you to is it a weird transition? Like, oh, do you just default to because it's right-handed set up, I'll just shoot it righty deficiently?
Can I answer this for you?
Sure.
He does a very good job of it.
Okay.
So he trains with a right-handed gun.
Okay.
Because then we've had this topic
Because
before.
most people's stuff is set up for righty. Okay.
So him as the shooter, the level that he is, correct, stop me at any time.
I will.
So the level that he is, and due to the fact that he's in a position to be able to teach people, the majority of the public is right-handed.
Yeah.
So we understand that. So I've actually watched him run a bunch of drills with a right-handed gun only, and the dude can do both. But
Yeah.
if we can cheat,
Yeah.
why not, right?
Yeah.
So his duty gun is set up
Lefty.
left-handed.
Yeah.
To favor that.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't
Ambi.
cheating, you ain't trying. It's
Yeah.
ambi. Yeah.
For folks that are not following, like I tend to try to utilize weapons that are, ambi and, with
Right.
AR-15s and such, there's a lot of ambidextrous platforms,
Yeah.
Santan, ADM, several others.
And now that there's like a bunch of tack-light solutions for putting the button up top, it doesn't really
100%.
matter. Yeah.
So I lean towards those options to maximize my efficiency. But yes, I can use, I would say probably the only gun that I would have maybe a real issue shooting, and so would others because they're generally set up for that specific shooter, is like a bolt gun, a sniper rifle that's built for a right-handed shooter because, the cheek piece could be pushed one side or the other, and that could create some issues with eye relief and, all that good stuff. Scope shadow.
So now on an AR, the ejection port's on the right.
It is, in fact, on the right, yes.
So
suppressed rifles are nasty. 'Cause they
I was
go
going to say, like, are you getting a lot of...
right in here, in your
Got
mouth.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
But
it.
it's not that
How'd I
big
do?
a
How'd
deal.
I do? For you, how'd I do?
You did decent. Yeah. You
Decent?
did pretty
What?
These guys are doing amazing.
Pizza on your
This is
face.
easy.
I'm
This
sorry.
is the easiest episode of Knots Around Table ever because I don't really have to answer any questions. I just have to sit here and ask them. Do you guys? So this is a great question as well. Not really related, but I'm going to relate it to you. Bonjo_Gabe asked, "Are you guys planning on going to Copperhead again this year?" I don't think you went to Copperhead.
I went to Copperhead.
This is going to be your first AMS event.
Yes.
Is going to be Ironclad, Iron Horse,
Iron Horse.
one of the irons.
Yes.
Iron Horse.
And assuming, because Guardian Center is nuts, hopefully they flood the whole flood demo area.
I'm hoping.
They didn't the last time we were there. They got a whole like disaster.
It's a FEMA
reaction.
training facility.
Yeah.
And they can-
So they've got like this whole pool that there are houses in that they can flood.
It gets worse the more I hear about this airsoft community
Dude, it's
and
amazing.
the psychotic nature in which they train in these facilities. You're gonna send me to a flooded facility to shoot dudes with plastic BBs.
Part.
So
Let's go.
assuming you have a good time at Iron Horse,
I'm sure I will. Yeah.
Copperhead is out in the middle of the New Mexico desert in Playas. It's like a whole residential town that's been
Border
converted
Patrol.
into.
Is that where you guys were
Yes,
doing
yeah,
that?
we did.
Yeah.
We went to
Looks
Playas.
cool.
Playas was actually right next to my academy. I went to my police academy was in Ortiz, New Mexico.
Is that
And
when
it-
you say next to? Is that like?
Not next to, like a couple hours away.
Yeah, okay, I was
but
like,
it-
there's
but
nothing
it's
next
the
to
closest
Playas, New
been there.
Mexico.
It's weird. So honestly, I think my predictions. I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My first AMS event was last year at Copperhead. And I had a blast.
Yeah.
I had a complete blast. I always had my own thoughts about Milsim.
Yeah.
And I went
Well,
there,
fair.
and I was like, oh, this isn't Milsim West, because for me, we were both in the military. Army, Marine Corps, RA, Semper Fi. My biggest thing was I didn't want to go sleep out in the woods and do
I
that
like
kind
camping.
of stuff. Yeah, I like camping.
I don't want to get shot at while I'm camping.
While I'm camping, right? It's like if I wanted that, I would have stayed on. I would have stayed. But some people like that. I love the
Yeah.
fact that they love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think that we're gonna get a really good experience at AMS at Iron Horse, Ironclad. You're making me think Ironclad.
Sorry,
now.
I'm sorry.
And I think you're gonna end up wanting to come back to Copper. I think we're gonna actually make this an annual thing.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I think this will
So
be a thing.
my favorite AMS event was Faded Giant.
Where was that?
It's at EMR. No, GTI. It's a GTI training center at, I forgot what base that is. Or what's it? No, it's GTI. So it's a decommissioned nuclear processing facility.
What?
So it's insane. Like it's so post-apocalyptic. Everything's like these giant concrete buildings and stairwells and
That's what the
catwalks that you have to go through. And
Yes, okay, I've
like,
seen the
it's
videos of that.
Super dope. The thing is, one team always kind of starts close to the building, and one team kind of always starts like away from the
woods,
buildings.
yeah.
And in years past, like you had there, it's on a hilltop, so you had plenty of defilade and trees to like move through on your approach. They've cut down all those trees, so you have no cover when you're approaching these buildings. So one side is always at a deficit because they're just getting rained down on. I loved Faded Giant, and once they cut the trees down, I think Copperhead would be my second favorite.
Copper was fun. A lot of CQB, a lot of open area movements. This is a lot of, I noticed from my perspective, not being an airsofter per se, a lot of people not knowing what they're doing and standing around.
Well, yeah.
Every 15 people, 30 people standing behind one building.
Yeah,
It's kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, and I get that. And it's like, it was super fun. Once they had a sense of direction, okay, I need you guys to start pushing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we'll do it. And
Yeah.
the community was honestly very respectful
Yeah.
and very fun. If you were there at that event, like I appreciated you guys. I got friendly fired a lot though, but it was super fun.
Yeah, I mean that's also part of the game.
I saw a lot of that. That was funny. Look at my uniform.
I'm in tan. Like I don't look. Oh my gosh.
Funny.
Okay.
PSD.
Best airsoft revolver. Would you guys know?
I probably wouldn't know.
If it's got gas,
Yeah. Yep.
it would put it-
There's
yeah.
spring-powered revolvers. They kind
I've seen those before. Little BBs in the front of your.
Have either of you
Look
ever
at the
shot
bodies. 3-gun
or any competitive shooting? This question was from Nader Jr. Shooter 3. But have you either of you shot?
I have, yeah. I did a big I think Safariland sponsored like national match after a SHOT Show a few years ago.
Like 2018, right?
And it had like all the big name
Okay.
comp shooters, and I absolutely got destroyed. I wasn't there to win. I was just there because I think the ammo was free. And
Nice.
I wore a bunch of tactical gear and got a lot of cool looks from guys wearing competition gear, and
Yeah.
that was fun. But I used a duty rifle. It was not a 3-gun because I didn't shoot any shotgun, but I used a duty rifle, like a 10-inch SBR, and it was in fact my entry rifle, along with
Your
Glock,
duty handgun.
a Glock,
Yeah.
duty Glock with
A duty belt.
battle belt.
Yeah.
And I ran around like a chicken with his head cut off and shot as quickly and fast as I could, missing all sorts of targets. And I had a blast. It was really hot. I got a really bad sunburn.
Nice.
But I learned that you have to enjoy gaming stages, and that's really difficult for like those in the I guess I'll just narrow it down in the SWAT community. And a lot of guys in the SWAT community do competitions in 3-gun. I think there's great benefit in it. It definitely broadens your spectrum and knowledge of shooting and all that stuff. But for me, it was difficult to like walk through and choreograph my steps and then go through and do this stage. I don't know. It was hard for me to do that. I couldn't take it seriously. But I have a lot of respect for the guys who slay those things. And I have a guy on my team who does that, and he's a very good shooter.
Booyah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was going to be my follow-up was, is there benefit,
Absolutely.
winning aside or doing well aside, is there benefit
You learn a lot
putting
about-
yourself under the timed pressure of having to accomplish a task?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, okay.
Without a
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah.
I've done IDPA. I think I did IDPA
Oh, okay.
once. Like, it was a weird thing. I ended up winning, but it was a bunch of like 60-year-old retired guys.
I ended up winning,
But it was like it wasn't anything special.
Right.
But like I went out there, I did it, and I've never shot anything else. I like what he was saying. I have a hard time like gaming the game when it comes to that kind of stuff. There's benefits to it. You learn processing. You learn to process information inside your brain, like letting your essentially like movement speak to what you're doing, and a bunch of other stuff. This is not my cup of tea, and I applaud anyone else that does it.
Fair. Okay. Do you know anyone named J Bizzle 723?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, they asked how long you two have been life partners.
Do we talk about that?
I don't think we've ever talked
Okay.
about that.
Well, we're avoiding the subject.
Yeah.
We're not gonna
gonna
divulge
expose it.
that.
No.
This is about weapons and equipment and
And
stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
how dare you?
I've got some people asking me to bring nuggets and milk to the basement. I've got this running joke about I've got airsofters in my basement in California.
Like
Anyway.
locked up or just there?
No, they're there.
Okay.
They are free to leave. There's a maze.
Oh.
Yeah, they just have to get out of the maze.
Is there like saws spinning and clowns in there too?
Yeah.
I see where this is
God.
going.
Follow.
What do we walk into?
Is the mustache its own person?
Yeah.
I would say so.
I mean, we all.
That
have-
thing's aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Yeah, it's threatening my mustache right now.
Oh man.
Babies, where they come from. We're gonna do that. Okay, so let me see. I want the kind of love they have. Man, people love you guys.
Oh, he's
Okay. They wanted to say, thanks for coming out, and they appreciate you guys. Run
appreciate you
Run
guys.
DVC 2011 said no questions. Just wanted to say thanks for coming out. Run DVC. Is that
Oh, he was out there today.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of my teammates.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
shoot.
Well,
Oh, that's
without
That's Booyah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
booyah.
easy.
Thanks, man.
Booyah, I love your face, dude.
Yeah.
We got some good pictures of you, by the way.
We do.
We just talked about Iron Horse, so there's no reason to bring that up. They're asking you to save them from my basement.
I'll take care of that once when the video ends.
Brian D127. Okay, sorry. This is. Are you still here for the violence?
Oh god, that was a Grantham. I don't know if you watch Grantham at all.
Yeah.
So there was a thing where it's like Mike asked me like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm just here for the violence."
Oh.
We were shooting 40 millimeters at torsos.
Clearly, you've been watching long enough to remember that, so good on you.
Nah,
It's
Thank you,
Jimbo.
you're a true fan.
This is a question for Mojo as well. You and I talked about this earlier.
Yeah, what's up?
Have you tried GBBR replicas? And I thought if you wanted to spend a few minutes talking about,
Yeah, I can.
Maybe your two favorites that you're running constantly.
Yeah, so Chaos Training Solutions is one of the new startup company. It's a long story short. He makes really good airsoft GBBs to be kind of brings it back to life for me. I used to run like, a WeTech, KWA, all great platforms, but they have their shortcomings just like any other GBBR. And then a GHK that was also souped up by Chaos Training Solutions. Phenomenal platforms, super fun to shoot. It kind of helps tone down the game aspect of airsoft for me.
Okay.
So I run 30-round magazines. The magazines are heavy. I can't spam pre-fire shots like other people do with an AEG, even though not saying that AEG players do that, but I think it's fun. I was telling him, because he's getting one here soon too, and I was telling Ryan about it. I'm like, it's going to change the game for you. Like, I love shooting GBBRs. Again, if you're new into the airsoft scene, I wouldn't start off with a GBB. Maybe a handgun, sure, like a gas pistol.
What is that?
Gas blowback, GBB.
Gas blowback, okay.
Yeah, GBBR, gas blowback rifle, GBB, like, yeah.
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 Well, okay, so specifically kind of the stuff we were dabbling in today.
Yeah.
One of the questions that a lot of the guys had that we were hanging out with were, these magazines hold 150 rounds. How do I load them with less than 150 rounds? Because that isn't the most realistic thing. And if you are using Airsoft as a training implement, being as realistic as possible and aiding, or getting in the habit of reloading and not having 150 rounds. Because we forget that in Airsoft.
You need to be accountable for the
all
shots.
of our magazines have way more rounds than you'd ever have in real life. And so, just underloading your magazines is an excellent way, even if you use an AEG, to have more realism.
Absolutely.
But if you're looking for that next step, simulating recoil, giving you a lot more, I guess your manual of arms would be
You're right.
literally
the
the
bolt
same.
lock reload. So like with the GBBRs, you're pulling the trigger at the last 30 round, bolt lock to the rear, eject the magazine, insert the new one, hit the bolt release, and then you're ready to fire again.
Right.
With the AEG, you can keep firing even though you don't have bullets.
Right.
We noticed that in the shoot house today.
Yep.
Like dudes were literally like.
The sound changes, but
Some people can't tell. Yeah.
Right.
They're
I would
awesome
argue it
rifles.
also, you should get in the habit of counting your shots.
Yeah.
Like, you should never rely on the bolt to lock back. You should never rely on the AEG to change
Yeah.
sounds. Count your shots. If you're trying to go for realism and you're trying to count out 30 rounds,
Yeah, you should be
count your
actually
rounds.
understanding, like when in doubt, tack mag it.
Yeah. And if you're Mojo, you can drop your GBBR magazines on the ground. But you shouldn't do that.
Yes. I've been doing it with no problems, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which movie, Heat or Collateral?
Heat.
Heat.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I loved Heat.
The firefight
But also-
scene, the egressing scene.
Okay, shooting the two dudes in the alleyway
Mozambique.
to get the
Yeah.
briefcase back was indeed
Very cool.
very cool. And
But that's also like the only portion of the movie that was like
yeah.
fantastic.
And it was, I mean, it's easily replicated with a
Nothing-
little bit of dry fire.
Yeah, nothing beats the fire like that gunfight in Heat. No audio,
Yeah.
no music, no nothing. It was straight up like visceral, down and dirty gunfight.
Like
I
to
would
date,
love to
yeah.
see.
Yeah.
So you are known for how fast you can get rounds off.
He's pretty fast, dude.
But I'm just saying, like,
Nonsense.
I would love to see one or both of you recreate the Collateral scene. It's
been done.
And see if you can do it fast.
There may be a video. There may be a video somewhere.
And just side by side time it.
oh
Be
yeah, we
like-
could do that.
I mean,
It can be
Tom
done.
Cruise is not a.
He's not a
you know,
shooter.
He's not a shooter.
Right.
But I want to see, like, how fast can it be done?
Do we have to have like the dinner jacket or the blazer?
No. I mean, like, honestly, you could go get like, one of those Costco special,
Yeah,
blazers
yeah.
or whatever.
We could
I think it'd be
think of
cool,
something.
and I think it'd be cool to see. Not that if you could beat Tom Cruise's time. I don't think that'll be a challenge.
No.
I want to see how fast a Mozambique drill could be done.
USPSA IDPA
in that,
guys do
in
that,
that scenario.
all the time.
Yeah.
They do that. Like,
It'd be super cool.
They're already smoking it. They're doing a great job.
Because I know I can't do it, and I'm slow as hell. We'll find that out tomorrow when we film X-Trainer stuff for you guys.
Oh gosh.
All right, let's see. What do you guys think? Well, this isn't part of the list, but what do you guys think of bullpup platforms?
I don't want the thing to blow up right next to my face.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, moving on. So that's all
But you
bullpups.
get but you get a overall size of a
Right.
10.5-inch SBR and a bullpup 16-inch,
Right.
about the same size. So you get essentially a shorter overall length of the gun, but still maintaining a velocity of 16-inch barrel.
Sure.
Versus a 10.5-inch gun.
Sure.
But I guess my biggest thing was like, I didn't want the mechanism if someone put a 300 black hat on my 5.56, it goes boom. I was like, oh, face right there.
It's also like really loud right next to your
no,
ear.
thank
Yeah.
you. No, thank you.
And
Okay.
It looks funky.
Yeah.
It just looks.
Yeah.
Aesthetics are a thing.
It's
gotta look cool.
We 100% have to look cool.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, specifically for airsoft, or I guess in real life too.
Yeah, in real life, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Want even more airsoft content? Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification icon. Follow us on Instagram and join our Facebook for epic weekly giveaways.